What's up, everybody? Ryan Turford here, and today is a very special day. I'm actually pretty excited about this. It's been a long while since you've seen a video on this channel, because the last video I shot was actually a Video Games Monthly unboxing for February, and it took a little while to get here, but finally, my March Video Games Monthly box is finally here. Now, you might be wondering also, because it's the first time I've ever actually, done one of these videos where I left the wrapping on. It's because I actually feel some games on the outside of the wrapping here. As soon as I open this, I know there's going to be a couple games on top. So we'll get into those. Now, you might be wondering, why did you shoot this video so late? Because you probably noticed in the description of the video that this is my March box, is that there was an issue with the post office. They're basically on the package itself. Like, it looked like, because we were sent pictures of this afterwards, but it looked like the address had somehow come off the package that Video Games Monthly sent to me in March. So the post office didn't know where to deliver it, so it ended up getting sent back. So basically, Video Games Monthly sent it back out to me at the beginning of this month, and it finally just got here like yesterday, the day I'm recording this, which is October 21st. So I want to get this open and dive into some of these games. And you also might be wondering also, where's my April box? I actually don't know yet. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it come in. And apparently it was sent around the same time this one was. So hopefully tomorrow or next week. I'm hoping at least before, the day cutoff happens for, submitting games to your owned list already, so we don't get any duplicates. But we'll get into that later. But for now, let's jump into our March 2022 Video Games Monthly unboxing list. So I'm going to just crack this open. You probably hear all kinds of great noises here, because I just want to get it open enough where I can get what's on top. Or, hold on. So there's another package inside. Okay, so in this package, this is where I'm feeling the games here, because you'll probably notice there's a bit of a bulge here, a bit of a ridge here. It feels like there's two PlayStation 2 games on top of this. So, by the way, for folks that don't know, while I'm opening this, if you don't know what Video Games Monthly is, it is a monthly subscription service where basically you give them money, they send you retro games every single month, and you basically tell them what systems you want games for, like what you're collecting for, and they do pretty much every system under the sun, including modern consoles, and then going all the way back to, Atari 2600 and NES and Super Nintendo and all the consoles back then as well. For me personally, I'm mostly collecting games now from the PS1, PS2 era. So I've got PS1, PS2, PSP, and then Dreamcast, or the systems that I have selected. And they do offer a wide variety of boxes as well, 3, 4, 5, or 10 games. And in fact, I have the 10 game box here, and that's what we'll be going with. But now I'm going to skip ahead because there's a lot of tape on this box. So let me skip ahead a bit. And we're back. So much tape, but now I've finally got the box open, as I suspect. 2 PS2 games are right on top. So we might as well just get them out of the way first, because it'll be tough to get the box out if we don't do these first. Or actually, hold on. These are PSP games. These are not PS2 games. So first up, we got Loco Roco. This is actually a sealed copy of Loco Roco. I remember this game before. I've played it because I think it was on PlayStation Plus at some point. So I definitely have the digital version of Loco Roco. Well, basically you control this giant, yellow blob type character that can split into a bunch of little blobs, and that helps you get through some of the environments. It's kind of like a cool like puzzle game that also is all about exploration. I remember having a lot of fun with this game. I'm glad to actually have like a physical copy of it now to play on my PSP. So that's definitely an awesome get on the list here. Well, let's grab this other PSP game, also sealed, and it is Lord of Arcana. And you notice I'm sighing a little bit because I actually updated this in time before my last box, and I'll double check on the Video Games Monthly website just to make sure that I went in here and kind of check that off. And I'll actually update that both down here, but also I'll mention it when we get to the kind of the prices in a little bit. I do have this already, and I'm like 90% sure I checked it off. So I'm hoping that it's not a mistake or anything like that. I'll make sure and take a look. And I mean, if it's on me, I totally own up to that. If I forgot to check it off, that's my fault. But I will double check that in a bit. So definitely look out for that. Because yeah, when we unboxed that last box, it was like the middle of February, I think, which should have been plenty of time to kind of get my February box games in ahead of time. Well, nothing in the bag. But we got this video games monthly box, and oh man, this box looks kind of jacked. You can definitely tell that this has been in transit for a while, basically 2 trips to Canada and then back to the United States. So we're going to go open it up. We're going to kind of do the feel around, and I'm just like, there's stuff in here. Yep. So let's get the little accoutrements out of the way first. So first off, obviously there's a little business card saying, hey, by the way, don't forget to update your library 7 days prior to the end of the month. Currently, I'm recording this again on the 21st of April, and I'll go ahead and update everything as soon as I'm done shooting this, just to make sure, obviously, that you don't get duplicates. And then looks like we got a 1-up. So there should be 11 games in here instead of 10, which is pretty awesome. Again, Video Games Monthly does that every once in a while. And a lot of times it's just to kind of even out the value of the box, especially if there are some lower price games in there. And then we also got looks to be a $1 million Pokemon bill for Pokemon money with Jesse and James on the front of it. And of course, the heroes of Pokemon on the back. And there's even a little descriptor on the back. I'll read this. Pokemon, abbreviated from the Japanese title Pocket Monsters, is a Japanese children's anime television series which has since been adapted into a popular video game and trading card game. And there's even a specific code on here. I'm guessing that's a certificate of authenticity, I guess, or production note. This note serves as a commendation and is not legal tender. So you can't take this and go down to your local Shoppers Drug Mart and use it to buy, candy or chips or whatever. I'm sorry to say. It's just not possible. All right. Well, with that, the feel around out of the way, and again, I don't feel any other cards in here. Let's just jump into our first game on top. We got a PS2 game. We got Portal Runner. Now, funny thing about this title, first of all, I have no idea what this game is. But funny thing about this cover, it says it's made by 3DO. The company that, made the 3DO, made by the company, is set up by Trip Hopkins, who is the original co-founder of Electronic Arts, or at least one of them. And he basically started his own company called the 3DO because he wanted to make this, premium game console because, all the other game consoles you had were just toys. This was part of this ad campaign that they ran because he really wanted that 3DO because it was $800 US in, 1995. So it's funny to see the 3DO logo on a game from the PS2 era. I didn't even know that they were publishing games at this time, but it looks to be basically it looks to be kind of some kind of spy game. You're riding a lion. You've got bow and arrow. I mean, it looks like you got a spy up here. That's where I got the spy thing from. And looks like you're doing stuff in this game. So Portal Hunter is a game that exists. I don't know anything about it, and I'm going to try it out because I don't know anything about this game. And it is complete in box as well. So you got the manual, you got the game, got everything you need to get yourself going. Well, next up, I feel a giant pile of loose disc games. So we're going to go through those. We're going to start off with this one. We got Namco Museum on the Strike a Dreamcast. Ooh, that's pretty cool. We don't get a Dreamcast game very often, so I'm actually very happy to get this, even though Namco Museum, I think, came to just about every platform under the sun. I have it on the Game Boy Advance and some other consoles, but have it on the Dreamcast, which I think is pretty interesting. I'm curious to know how this one will play and how it'll play with the Dreamcast controller. But basically, this is a collection of older Namco games, stuff like Pac-Man, Galaga, all that, classic arcade era stuff from Namco. So cool to have that in the collection. Always good to see a Dreamcast game in the box, and I will happily take that. All right, next game, another loose game. Looks like a PS1 game from the back. We got Star Wars Episode 1 Jedi Power Battles. In fact, this originated from Hollywood Video. So thank you, Hollywood Video, I guess, for supplying us a game here. So Jedi Power Battles came out around the time Episode 1 came out, and it was essentially like a beat 'em up game in the Episode 1 universe. You got to play as some of the Jedis from the Jedi Council, as well as, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon and Mace Windu. And then you're going around basically playing the story of the Phantom Menace, but kind of in this beat 'em up way. I know that my brother Kyle and we actually used to own this game, and we actually ended up selling it a long time ago to pay for, other game consoles. And we used to play this a lot because there is, 2-player simultaneous co-op on this. But man, looking back on it, it's not a very good game. But it's a game I'm actually happy to see in the collection because I remember having some fun with it. So yeah, a lot of times, even with bad games, you can still usually make your own fun of it. So I always do enjoy, even when the games are not amazing, still receiving them and kind of adding them to my collection. All right. Next up, we got another one. Black Label again. And oh man, Oh, this is great. We got Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Battle 22. One of the games that if you actually go and look at lists of the worst PlayStation 1 games, this is one of the ones that's always near the top. But oddly enough, I've never played this one because there is another Dragon Ball game that came out on the PlayStation 1, Dragon Ball GT Final Bout. I've played that one, which is like a 3D Dragon Ball fighting game based off the Dragon Ball GT series. But this one, Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Battle 22, I believe this is like a 2D fighting game, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I've never played it, but I've only heard just like not so good things about it, but I'm interested to try it out myself and kind of play it. Maybe this is the type of game we play on stream, and maybe actually it looks like we're putting together a pretty good like PS1 list of games to try it on stream and kind of play those over on the Carpool Gaming channel, youtube.com/Carpool Gaming, by the way. So maybe we'll play that in the future on camera. All right, next up we got what looks like to be another PS1 game. Oh, we got Monops. We got Monopoly. Always a classic game to have as part of your video game collection. A digital Monopoly can always be like kind of hit or miss. I don't know about the PS1 version of Monopoly, so this is going to be interesting. I'm excited to try it out and find out for myself if this game is a lot of fun, because I do like Monopoly. But one of the annoying things about playing Monopoly is you got all the pieces and the board and stuff to set up, but you don't have to worry about this. This calculates everything for you, so you just play it and have fun. So I actually kind of like digital board games a lot. So Monopoly should be a fun inclusion to the collection, and definitely one I'm excited to try out. And then I think we've got two more loose games, and then there's a couple more inbox games underneath that. So next up, another black bottom game. So again, another PS1 game. We got, again, I keep doing these upside down, ATV Mania. And there's a faded picture of an ATV in the background there. So I'm guessing this is an ATV game. Again, this is another game I've never heard of. I mean, in fact, in last month's box, we got a lot of, sports and racing games on the PlayStation 1 with Motocross Mania and then boxing and stuff like that. So we're continuing that tradition here with ATV Mania. And I will be interested in checking this one out as well. Again, I've never heard of this one, and hopefully it's a lot of fun. All right, and then I think this is the last loose game, and then I think we've got a couple inbox stuff left. So another PS1 game we've got, I have to flip it over again, Knockout Kings 2000. And this is from EA. This was before, I think before the Fight Night series. Basically, I think Knockout Kings became Fight Night. Again, I'm getting my history maybe confused because I usually don't play a lot of boxing games, but now I've got two PlayStation 1 boxing games, both with boxing from February's box and now Knockout Kings 2000. So again, this is another one I've never played before. I don't mind sports games. I know that they're not my favorite thing to add to the collection, but at the same time, some sports games are actually kind of fun, and I'm hoping this can be a little more arcadey, but it is an EA sports game, so it is probably more on the simulation side. But I know in the early 2000s, I mean, EA kind of, a lot of their simulation series end up being like really fun arcadey games. I actually think back to playing games like NHL 2000 or 2001 in particular, which I spent a lot of time playing, where that was like really arcadey and a lot of fun. And I think that game's actually still fun to go back to today. So Knockout Kings might actually be a lot of fun. Again, I've never played it, so I'm excited to check it out. Well, next up, we got another sealed PSP game. And we got Secret Agent Clank. So this was the Ratchet and Clank spinoff, starring as Clank, where he's a secret agent. And it's all about, doing spy stuff with Secret Agent Clank. Basically kind of like a James Bond parody, but with Clank instead of, James Bond. It sounds like a fun game. I think this was also on PlayStation Plus, so I might actually already have like a digital copy of it, but it's cool to have it physical and kind of adding it to my ever-growing PSP collection, which I love to see. I love the PSP. It's one of my favorite, handheld consoles. So I'm glad to have this in my collection finally. And then last game in the box is another PSP game, which again, I'm always happy to see. We got Siphon Filter Dark Mirror. I'm actually pretty sure. Let me just look on my shelf. Is that the one I got last month? It's possible I have this one. I will again update it right below if I have Siphon Filter Dark Mirror, but or maybe I have Logan's Shadow, and maybe that's why I'm getting confused, because there were two different Siphon Filter games on the PSP. Both of them were actually very, very good, with both Dark Mirror and Logan Shadow. So I'm definitely excited to jump into this one again. I know this was also on PlayStation Plus, and I played it that way and really had a great time with it. So again, really glad to have a physical copy of it, so in my collection, and kind of, add it to the growing selection of PSP games, because I'm actually really happy to have this. As long as I don't have it already, and I'm pretty sure now that I'm thinking about it, I probably do actually have Logan Shadow and not Dark Mirror. So there you go. That's all the games for this month's Video Games Monthly. And I'm going to go ahead and basically total everything up, and then we will come back with my final analysis and what games I love out of this list. Okay, Sen, we're back. So as you probably noticed from the lower thirds going through all the games, I did confirm that, in fact, I do have Lord of Arcana checked off. I checked it off as soon as I did my unboxing last time, which was on February 16th. So this was probably just a mistake on Video Games Monthly part, just a total accidental thing. Usually their customer service is super awesome. So if I usually reach out, just saying, hey, by the way, I accidentally got a duplicate, they're always on top of this, and they'll probably end up sending a game next month. So I'll definitely email them as soon as we're done here. And then actually, I was really surprised with the total this time around, because first of all, you're seeing the total right here for the amount of games, for the price we got. All prices, of course, are in US dollars, taken from pricecharting.com, which is a tool that I basically use for, looking up any type of retro prices. And I always say on this channel, when it comes to these boxes, even if the box comes undervalue, if it's a game, if it contains games that I'm excited to play, or if it contains things that I'm, excited to check out, I do put some value in the curation of the box. So I do not factor in a lot of that stuff, but it is amazing to see this month that we did go way over the value that we actually ended up paying for the box, because the box itself costs $79.99 US dollars. I know that there is shipping included, but I never include shipping in the price of that, because generally the shipping cost that Video Games Monthly charges is basically how much I'd have to pay to ride transit to go to my local game store and find the games there, let alone tracking down all these games. So I do put certain value attached to that. So that's why usually, again, at the $80 price point, and we're getting $95.41 back, that's pretty good. Sure, it's mostly on the back of a lot of these games being new and sealed in the package. Most of these PSP games in particular were definitely up in value because of that. But a lot of them, because they were greatest hits games, honestly, the complete in box price wasn't really that different from the new price. So just having them complete in box just really ups the value. And we definitely got some lower end games from the value perspective, from the loose pile, but we actually got some ones that really surprised me, like Namco Museum being a $10 loose game on the Dreamcast actually surprised me with the value that it had. And even something like Jedi Power Battles, which I was thinking it was actually probably cheaper than it actually was, turned out to be one of the more expensive loose games. So that's super cool. So I want to, of course, end the video always talking. Oh, one other note as well. I mentioned that earlier. I was correct kind of in my line of thinking. Oh, that was the wrong game. I was correct in my line of thinking with Siphon Filter. I did get Logan Shadow last time. Now I have Dark Mirror, so now I have both the games, which is awesome. Thank you so much, Video Games Monthly, for now giving me both the Siphon Filter PSP games, which is cool. But let's run down real quick the three games I'm most excited to check out. First one might surprise you. It's actually Monopoly on PS1. I mentioned it when we were talking about that game. I like board games in the digital format. I like Monopoly, especially in the digital format, a lot more than playing it kind of in person. So I'm very excited to check out what the PS1 version of Monopoly is going to be like. And I'm thinking I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. So in Video Games Monthly, if you're watching, I would love kind of more, board games like this, like maybe like Risk, Acts and Allies, some cool stuff like that. I would love to see kind of more of that thing. Next one up, I just mentioned it. It's Siphon Filter Dark Mirror. I really like this game the last time I played it, but I haven't played it in years. So I'm actually very excited to kind of crack this open because I usually never leave my games sealed, and definitely check this one out. So I'm excited to play some Siphon Filter Dark Mirror and go through that playthrough once again. And now that I have both, I can definitely play them both back to back, which is just awesome. And then the last one really intrigued me because, again, this one, I didn't look up videos yet or anything like that because I just want to go in completely blind with this one. But this one's actually Portal Runner, which was the very first game we opened, the 3DO game with the woman with the green hair in the cave woman outfit with a bow and arrow and a lion on the front. seems very random. And again, with like a special agent with like a silence gun on the back, like this game looks wacky, and I'm so excited to check it out. So I'm so glad. Again, this is one of the reasons why I like receiving this box every month, because again, it not only gives me games that I've played before and I have great memories with, like something like Jedi Power Battles kind of fits that bill, but also gives me games that I've just never heard of and allows me to try them out for the first time without maybe, because if I saw this game on the shelf, I might not be inclined to kind of pick it up. Whereas, if it's part of my subscription every month, that's awesome to see. So Portal Runner, I'm very excited to crack this open and play it. It might be terrible. It might be awesome. It might just be, one of the goofiest games I've gotten in a long time, but I'm very excited to play it. Well, folks at home, let me know in the comments below what some of your favorite items that I got from this box are. Because, again, a lot of PS1 love here, a lot of PSP love, one PS2 game, but then lots of a Dreamcast game as well, which I'm just happy to see. But let me know what your favorite is down below and just what you think about this month's box, or just what do you think about video games monthly in general. Also, as you might not be aware, we actually launched our new initiative, Carpool Gaming. YouTube.com/Carpool Gaming is where all of our podcasts live now. We're doing live streams of all of our shows over there. We do a lot of cool stuff over on Carpool Gaming. So definitely go and check us out over there at Carpool Gaming, youtube.com/Carpool Gaming. And then we're on podcast services around the globe, or on Twitter at Carpool Gaming as well. So I'm Ryan Turford. Thank you so much for checking out my March Video Games Monthly. And hopefully I'll be back in a couple days with April's box if it shows up. If not, again, I'll be reaching out to Video Games Monthly and we'll figure all that out. But until then, friends, see ya.